Thanks for coming to my channel, and today I am going to show you how I am going to make a worm farm for my axolotls. That one's got some good gills. I don't know what's going on with my other ones. They're all in the same tank, obviously. But we're gonna make a worm farm. And here are the ingredients I'm going to use. Here is a 12 quarts storage bin from Walmart. I think it was like $5, $6. Here is a cardboard shipping box from Walmart. I think this was $1, maybe $1.20. If you're gonna use cardboard, make sure there's no waxy pictures on it. Like there's no tape residue, like an Amazon cardboard box or anything like that. No bright colored inks. I'm gonna say this is gonna be good. So you don't want anything toxic for the worms, because the worms probably will be munching on this, and you don't want anything toxic to get to your axolotls. And then my soil is going to be coconut coir. Is that how you say it? C-O-I-R. Coconut coir? Whatever. This is from Amazon. I think this one was $12. There's 2 bricks here. This is going to be the base. That's going to be the soil component. And then, of course, the worms. We got them from Uncle Jim's Worms, super red European night crawlers. We got these on Amazon. And I'll put links down below to all this stuff that I'm using. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wash the tub to make sure there's no chemicals or toxic stuff in there, since once again your worms are going to be used to feed your axolotls. So anything the worms digest, indirectly your axolotls are going to get it. So anything they're exposed to, anything toxic, you can pass it on to your axolotls. So I'm just going to use some Dawn Platinum Plus Power Wash, just some normal dish detergent, and just a paper towel. I know it's clean. Get all the chemicals, maybe packing tape, anything that was in there inside that could harm the worms and the axolotls, and just gonna try to clean it out. I always make sure it's squeaky clean, and I'm happy with it. Next up is I'm going to drill a bunch of holes in the roof so it can get air circulation and the worms can breathe and the soil doesn't get too wet. So I'm going to use 1/8 inch drill bit, and I'm just going to do just a row all the way around, because I'm actually going to cut out a square in the center and put some mesh over it, some window screen, so that it gets even more circulation, but I don't have that right now. I forgot to go to Lowe's and grab the mesh. So right now I'm just going to do the drills, or I'm just going to drill the holes all around. And there's all my ventilation holes. That's what the inside looks like, if you're curious. Hopefully they're too small for the worms to escape. So now I'm just going to wipe it out, make sure there's no plastic pieces that got in there. Next up, I'm going to get ready and start tearing the cardboard. To go in there is the base. I'm probably going to do about 2 inches. You want a 1-to-1 ratio base to, we'll just call it the soil. And so I think about 2 inches, and then another 2 inches. That should give enough room in there for them to burrow and hopefully start reproducing. So with this kind of cardboard, since it's corrugated, I believe that's the word, since it has little ridges, it should allow air to get in here as well. So hopefully everything doesn't get too wet, which leads to the soil turning anaerobic, which leads to the soil turning acidic, and then the worms dying. So I use about 2/3 of the box. And that's what it looks like on the side. And I just ripped it up. If you want to cut them, you can. I just figured ripping it would be quicker. And on a 15 by 12 by 10 box, this is what I have left. So probably just over half. And I took all the lettering off. If there was ink, I just ripped it off and didn't include it. But next step is now we're going to soak this in dechlorinized water. So if there is anything on here, anything else, hopefully it washes away. So if you have axolotls or a fish tank, prime is what I use for the dechlorinizer. So I just filled up a 5-gallon bucket with a little bit of water. Gonna put some prime in and then put the brown cardboard in. Just a little bit. And on my cardboard. Just kind of stirring it up, making sure it all gets any water, rinses anything off. I'll let it soak for a couple minutes. After it's soaked for a couple minutes, what you want to do next is you want to grab the base, the cardboard, the newspaper, whatever you're using, and squeeze it till most of the water is out. And it's damp. So now here it is. It's damp, not soaked, moist, not too wet. I'm going to spread it around. It did kind of clump together when I was squeezing it out, so I'm just kind of fluffing it right now. And then so if you look, that's about how much I have. So about half the containers. So I'm saying about 2 inches. There's still some space so air can get in there. You know, the worms can crawl around. So now it's time to add the soil. And so with these are bricks. I'm gonna have to put it in that same bucket and add water to it so it can spread out. Or so it can spread and turn into soil. So this is the material you get. You get like a flower kit. This is usually what the little disc is made of. That's kind of what it seems like. So I just need to add water to it so it can grow. It says about 4.5 quarts for this. And here we are. A couple minutes later, I had to break it up a little bit. It's still really soggy down there. Might have used too much water. Worms are gonna love this. Hopefully. Man, it is a little really soggy down there. Anyway, next step is to put this in the bin. Alright, this looks to be a good consistency now. Give it a couple more minutes and poured the excess water out, and so this is what we got. So now I'm just going to take it from here and just put it in here and spread it. Like I said, you want to get about a 1-to-1 ratio. gonna mix it in there nice and good. Yeah, it should be good. Let the worms crawl around in that. From the side, this is what it looks like. Even though the dirt weighted all the cardboard down, you can see it's about even. It's about 1 to 1, I would say. I don't want to put any more in. So now next up is the worms. Dirt's all mixed in there. So I'll put some food in there, and then the worms, and then we'll be set. And so now next up is to put some food in there, and then the worms. But this is what it looks like so far. I do wish I would have got a lid that had latches on it, but this will work for now. All right, so once I got everything put together, the cardboard and the coconut core, however you say it, I'm gonna put some food in there. The smaller the better, but this is frozen zucchini, so I'm just gonna throw a couple in there so they can eat it. And then you can bury it if you want so you don't get any pests, but I'm just gonna leave it on top. And then we put the worms in.
Do I dump the whole thing, or do I just...
It's like a living pile. And there you have it. So this is a soil. Obviously we use the soil that came with the worms, but that is how you make a little worm bin. Okay, so we've had this for a couple weeks now, and we've had a couple worm escapes. The first one, quite a bit got out. You can see along the edges where the dirt is. And so my new recommendation is going to be the 20-quart Sterilite. It's not as wide on the bottom by like 1 inch, and it's deeper, but the lid has a gasket, and you can latch it in. So that should prevent worms from escaping. And plus, with the clear lid, which if you're going to get a smaller one, I'd recommend a clear lid, the light should keep the worms down in the dirt instead of trying to escape. I'd recommend this. Plus, they got a higher way to go if they want to escape. So this is my new recommendation. Just want to come back and give you guys an update. You can see the worms are alive. They're moving. So far I haven't killed them. It's been successful. I don't know if we have any baby worms yet, though. Thanks for watching.